Hi, Greg. Great to see you, and great that you actually decided to do this short interview with me. So basically, I want to share this interview with the audience. And first of all, I would love them to know a little bit of your background and your business. So could you introduce yourself?
Sure, I'm Greg Greenwald and the owner of Greenwald Brands, a company that's been selling on Amazon just here next year. It'll be a decade. And it started as just a hobby out of the basement. We shopped at local stores and just really cut our teeth, learned the Amazon space initially by doing that, and decided, hey, maybe some formal training would be in order. So we found a training program that was about a week long, traveled to go through that. That mainly taught private labeling, which got into that for a couple years and learned a lot of ins and outs. Still maintaining shopping at local stores and seeing an opportunity to get into doing the wholesale business model. And at that point, the business had grown beyond the capacity of the basement. So moved into a small warehouse and started working with national vendors. And that continued the growth of the business to going into a larger warehouse. And we still today work with large national vendors. And we also work a lot with brands directly. So we help them either get established on Amazon or take what they already have done on Amazon and improve that. So it's a 10-year journey there, scaled down to a couple of minutes worth of discussion, but and it's been quite a journey.
Oh yeah, definitely. 10 years, it's quite some time. So you also know a lot of things about Amazon, and you saw it all changing. I mean, it's constantly growing and changing as well. But yes, I would love to now ask you the question that basically brought you to us at some point. So what were the main challenges that you faced that during your 10-year journey, you actually decided to invest into custom software solution?
Mm-hmm. So originally we needed some way to catalog our products, and we relied on Google Sheets. Everything you're doing, you're trying to do on a budget. So Google Sheets was free. That evolved into having some custom scripting done to try to automate some of the processes we were doing. But it really was just a hodgepodge of various software services that each one offered a little something that we needed. And it got kind of complex and inefficient, but it was the only way that we knew at the time to get done what we needed to do. And we rode that as far as we could, and it became very obvious that we had to become much more efficient at what we were doing. And I seen just thinking of a model, an image of what it could be. And so that's when we decided to start looking at technology providers and see if we could develop something that would be rewarding.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, yeah, definitely. I've seen many businesses going and try first automating some stuff with Google Sheets or some third-party softwares as well. But obviously, building custom software solution is like a next step, right? It's like if you combine all of the things together and you have the formula, you may want to build something on your own. You may want to invest into something that is not there, not out there in the market yet. But you mentioned that yes, you started searching for some service providers. So I assume that if you type something like programming services of a software agency, you get like thousands, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of results. So I would love to ask you the question, how our agency stood out there and you actually decided to pick us.
Yeah. So the research started on YouTube along with just Google, and we were looking for something very specific, and that was being able to do API calls with Amazon and pull this data in. We knew the data was available through other software applications that we were using. It's just no one application had a comprehensive ability to do all the things that we needed to do. And so I was very selective on what we were looking for. And we found 3 or 4 different companies, yours being one of them, that at least said that they could do it. And so we got on conference calls and I introduced what the concept was and what we were currently doing. And I think what resonated with me about you and your company was you were very detailed on one of the videos that I watched about one of the things that you had programmed. I forget what the API call was, but it's like, well, if he can do that, then should be able to do some of these other things. And you were actually the last one of the 4 that we talked to, and it was apparent that your passion was very deep for not only programming but just business as well. So I knew you didn't appear to be somebody that was going to be here today and gone tomorrow, and so that gave me enough comfort to at least start with some initial development. And that's it. Pretty much come down to a gut feeling at that point, and so it was a good decision.
Oh yeah, that's actually awesome to hear also from you, especially the first research that you did, found a few companies and decided to start working with us, even though we are a company that is overseas, right? So especially that's a very high risk nowadays that you pick the partner, and as you said, tomorrow they may not stick around. But for us, it's different. We actually work together, I think, for almost 2 years now. So
Yes.
first we built we actually automated and transformed all of your processes that were in Google Sheets and the third-party solutions into one software acorn, which is right now live that you start using. And then the second step was to transform it to the SaaS that is actually going live right now. So I will be also very happy to share the link in the description. So for everyone who's watching, you can check it out. Yeah, that's awesome, Greg. And I would love to now jump to the question regarding the whole collaboration. So developing a software is a very, very complex topic, and the collaboration might go in different ways. In our case, we actually brought Acorn brought Acorn live. So I would love to ask you the question: how did you find the process of working with us to develop the custom software solution?
I think it's gone quite well, and I do have a history of working in corporate information technology. And one thing when you're working with a developer is what you say you want is what you're going to get, meaning you have to be very, very precise on what it is that you're asking for. So it gets very, very granular. And I think initially your team and our team was just kind of feeling each other out and figuring out what the commonality was. That we knew we had a good communication with. And it was a challenge at the beginning because our process, I'm not going to say it was a complicated one, but
I think it was quite complicated.
Yeah. It was an evolution of things. And so we knew it was going to be a challenge for a developer to work with that. And as we got to know more and more of the team members at Deltologic, and I'll do a shout out to Rafi, who's been our primary contact. You guys have really took the opportunity to really try to understand what it is that we were looking for, and that's really brought what we have now to fruition. And we're quite happy with that. So overall, it's been a pleasant experience. And as we continue to work with one another, it almost seems like we can get more done even at a quicker pace than what we did before. And you guys understand our system just as well as we do now, and that's a perfect compliment. So it's romantic to think that you can do all this stuff all by yourself, but when you get to a certain level, you have to have help, and you have to have help from people that you can trust and can be proficient with what you're needing to do. And we have a very good comfort level with Deltologic on that.
That's awesome. And I'm glad you actually mentioned, right, about the communication and the whole process, that it was quite complex. And as you said, what you say to developer, he or she will build you, right? And in our case, yes, definitely the communication was a key to success. That's very often what we tell to our clients, that they need to be very detailed and precise, because we just cannot guess what's in their mind, right? So that's definitely a very important thing to remember when building the custom software solution, that there's no guessing there. So now, Greg, I would love to ask about the actual results of the software that we built together. So if you could share with us some of the improvements that Acorn gave you.
Well, this is where it's extremely exciting, because it's a long journey when you're dealing with something that's got so many different moving parts. But the first huge challenge we had was our ordering system was very antiquated, and we needed to streamline that, make it more efficient. And that's what we originally kind of focused on. And what used to take about 4 hours to go through piecemeal a large order with a large vendor, we can get that done now in no more than an hour. So ordering, just from the time that we would spend on it, has improved 50-75% easy. Because we have all these data points that are all very laid out in a very nice framework in an order. We don't make mistakes as much as what we used to. Ordering products that anybody's sold on Amazon for any amount of time, or anybody that's been in purchasing, when you've made mistakes and you've got this product that's on your shelf that just sits there and gathers dust. And Acorn really helps identify what you're seeing out there, and preventing you from getting into potholes with products. And so it's saved a lot of money, because you think about, if you order the wrong thing and you can't sell it, well, you now have all that capital tied up with that could have been working for you instead of against you. And that comes from being able to see all these different data points. So ordering, huge, tremendous, it's just unbelievable how much that has improved. Then you couple that with when we would have a semi park out front and we would unload it, we had no good system of checking that product in. You just have a paper packing sheet or your invoice, and you kind of hope for the best. Today, we can check an order in, a very large order, pallets of stuff, in under an hour, many just in 30 minutes. And it's tied in with handheld scanners. So all of the team members can get their scanner, start scanning away. We can have 4, 5, 6, 7 people simultaneously checking product in. And not only do they know what they're supposed to be receiving, but it quickly identifies when we didn't receive something that we were supposed to. And, they always say the devil's in the details. Well, if you're getting charged for products that you've received that are damaged or mispicks, or things that you were completely shorted on, without a good system in place to tell you and identify when this happens, that's more money that's getting lost that you're just leaving on the table. And so we've eradicated all those types of issues, and now people can scan. They know exactly what the prep size is. So if something's a multi-pack, they can quickly identify that, and it's just turned into almost like a symphony of combined effort. Everybody's working with one another, and it's nice to see the evolution of it. We can take an invoice and upload it into the system, and just within a couple clicks, it does a process that used to take half an hour to an hour and a half to get set up for receiving goods. And that's been a beautiful, wonderful thing in of itself. Acorn keeps track of what we call backstock. So that's all the items that are sitting in the warehouse, either getting ready to be shipped into Amazon, or we do some fulfilled by merchant. And we can now identify all the products, and we can now prioritize based on these data metrics what should get shipped to Amazon first. And again, it's the efficiency, and all this just translates right back to your bottom line. And that's why we wanted to turn this into a SaaS product, because it's done so much for our business that we knew there's others in this space that could benefit from it as well. And it wasn't really the original intention, but the intention from the onset, and always will be, is to have Acorn as a product that is always has the ability to be scalable. So it does a whole lot more, but I would say just those three things I just discussed have saved a tremendous amount of money. And so we're very happy about that.
That's awesome. And for us, even for me as a business owner doing the dev shop, it's just a great history that we get the direct results from the software that we built together. I mean, you have the ROI right here. All of the features that you mentioned, all of the time savings. This is just incredible. And now, as it is going, it is actually live and available as a SaaS. This is even better because others can save time as well and automate so many various things. I mean, I already got a lot of messages from our podcast, from our previous videos about the Acorn. So finally, people can try it and start using it. So I'm very actually excited about this. I'm also happy that the whole collaboration is super smooth. And I think it's just a great conversation that we can have today to educate people on building custom software, what it takes, how long it take even to launch the software as it is, right? I mean, for you, first of all, 10 years of combined knowledge about the Amazon and selling there, put as an idea, and then it all was transcribed to the actual code. And now today, as it is, this can be used by other sellers. It's just awesome.
Yeah, and I would say, anybody that's listening, you don't have to think in such a large scale of what we've been working on for the past 2 years. Just sit down, and even if you have to do Post-it notes, write down every step of your process, stick it on the wall, and just stare at it for an hour or two and identify where you can improve and you can automate. And so, first take a look at your process and say, what can I do to make that a better process? What can I eliminate? And once you get that refined down, then reach out to a Deltologic and say, we want to build something that can automate this. And it's very easy to sit and calculate how much it costs in your time or team members' time to do something, and then be able to determine what the payback time is going to be. And I think you would be amazed and even astonished how much technology can work for you. And anytime you can let technology do the work for you, it's going to do it accurately. It's not going to call in sick one day. It's something that can really benefit your business. So I would encourage people to start by doing that. And usually there's going to be 1, 2, 3 top pain points, and look at those, and then try to craft it in a way that you set it up so you can layer and build on top of it. So that would be what my recommendation would be to other listeners.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. And yes, it cannot be the whole huge set of problems. It can be 1 or 2 problems to even start with, right? I mean, custom software development, it sounds very heavily, but we have also clients that we just automated 1, 2 processes. So it doesn't have to be a whole system that needs to be turned to SaaS. So, but yeah, Greg, that's awesome. Thanks a lot for sharing your experience, your feedback on working with us. And yes, I think that was it for today.